Awesome. So here we are. This is a Zoom webinar called Money Come, Money Come, Money Come, and I'll have the cash now too, please. And part of it was stemmed from actually so many things. And for those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Maggie Schlarb, and I am an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. And I just returned home from Costa Rica from facilitators training, and just made the demand of myself that there's more to be had. There's more to be created. There's more. And from this space of what else is possible. I've had dynamic change in my world, which I've chosen. We create our own reality. And I've definitely chosen a lot of different things and realized in all this creation of what I've been doing, I've learned and acknowledged that I have some capacities with money. How does it get better than that? And I actually want to know if there anyone in this conversation that doesn't know what access is yet, or has never played with access consciousness before. And it's okay if you haven't. We'll let you in on the secrets. So this call is more like a conversation, and I probably won't be doing this is not a clearing call. It's more like, let's have a conversation about money, and really about are you inviting money into your world, and would you like to? So there's two different energies there. Like, are you inviting money into your world, and would you like to? And now what can you choose from here? So as we go on this conversation, I'm going to give you some examples, some tools to play with. I'm going to invite you to something called 30 Days of Becoming Money, which is coming up, and then answer any questions. And my first question for you actually is, if you could get anything out of this, or if you have a specific question that you're like, I saw this and this has been burning inside of me, what is it? What's up in your world? What can I contribute to you today?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
You ask, are you inviting money into your life?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I do, and I say I do, but can I really be not doing that because it's not showing up?
Cool. So can you really be uninviting money into your life?
Well, yeah, I wonder, because my last income was in April.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. And so here's actually, this is a perfect, thank you for this question. The perfect lead in. It's like, what if money wasn't just cash, right? What if money wasn't just numbers? And so one of the things I do and that you can put into practice right away is just really inviting all the, everywhere I've uninvited money out of my life, it's time to change that and really look at, okay, where am I uninviting money? Not going into the wrongness of you, but just looking at, okay, cool. What else is possible here that I haven't considered with money? Now, often I'm like, am I going here now? Yeah, stay with me, because I go all over the place, and that's what's fun about it. And that's what creating money is, whether it's money in whatever form it is, and we'll go to that space. But the other last month, and if you're moving, I'm muting you. I think I am. And so early last month, I asked myself, because I really money tends to not be a huge motivator. If you're on an iPhone, can you stop unmuting yourself, please? I'm going to get feisty on you. Money isn't a huge motivator. It's often what I'd like to create that is the motivator. It's not actually money. And so, but I wanted to ask for a really lump sum of money and see what showed up. And to be like, what amount of money could I ask for that is just kind of almost a beyonce for me? Okay. And so what I asked for is I asked for $70,000 in a month. Okay. So I asked for $70,000 a month. I'm like, okay, well, what's it going to take? And I started asking questions, and I started, and in the beginning I was like, oh, well, where's the cash? Where's the money? Where's the money? Where's the money? And I asked for that. And it was just recently that I asked for it. And but I kept on going into the wrongness of okay, well, where's the cash? Well, where's the cash? Well, where's the cash? And so then I was like, okay, you know what? Asking for what's not there and focusing on what's there is only creating what's not there. And so time to switch, time to choose something different. So then, lo and behold, a medical bill comes in the mail. A medical bill comes in the mail, and I look at it and I'm like, ooh. And knew it was from, for those of you who know me, my son broke his arm quite badly, and we needed a flight for life because he had broken an artery. So in the States, you pay for healthcare. And you can imagine what a hospital stay and a flight for life and what it would cost. So the medical bill comes in, like pretend this is Mr. Medical Bill. And I put it on the counter, and I couldn't open it at that moment yet because I was like, oh, I just asked for money and now I'm going to have to like spend it all before it even comes in my world. So every time I passed it on the counter, I was like, I would podpoc. So if you don't know what a podpoc is, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. But there's a clearing statement in Access Consciousness that starts to shift the energy of the charge that can, like, you can, sometimes we feel it in our bodies. Sometimes it's like this weight on ourselves. And it goes right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, and so every time I passed this medical bill, I would go, okay, right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds, and I'd move on for 3 days. 3 days I did that. And then finally, I opened the medical bill, and I opened it with like such trepidation, like of, oh my goodness, like I could only imagine what the bill is going to be. So I opened it up and I like started to see. And so the first part of it was like the hospital stay was $67,000 and some odd dollars. Right. And then there was the radiology that was like however many thousands of dollars. And then I looked down to how much of that I owe. Right. So if you tally it up, it's almost $70,000 worth of medical bills. I'm like, cool. So that's the opposite of what I asked for when I looked at this. Right. And then I go down to the bill and I look at what I have to pay. Can you guess how much I had to pay of that? $60. Oh, $60 that I had to pay for that $70,000 medical bill. So in that, had I been in the headspace of the money isn't coming, I did negate it. And then I had a conversation with a friend, and she said, Maggie, do you get that you just asked? She knew I was asking for $70K a month. She's like, do you get that you just created that? Just not the way you thought you would. So everything that is. Let's just like, whatever that brings up in your world, does it bring up, well, that's not money? Does that, but do you see like what that is? What money can be? Like $70K, I don't have to pay. I get to pay $60. Cool. And then you look at, okay, well, what else has shown up in my life that is money, the energy of money? Because we're going to look at this book a little bit, the How to Become Money workbook. And money is really this energy. And it's this space of being. Yes, the cash is awesome and it creates more. And the more you be, the more you can receive, and the more cash flow, the more dynamic of that, choosing different classes or whatever you want to choose. Will show up. So then I go to Costa Rica and I return home, and my dad has purchased like brand new tires from my car. Brand new tires. I didn't ask for it. I mean, energetically, I must have asked for it, but I didn't specifically go like, hey, Dad, can you get me that? And so in this thing, I'm realizing, oh my goodness, I go away, I'm asking for more money, I've made the demand of myself. There are different things that I'd like to choose and create that are not so far in the distant future. And the money is showing up, because guess what? I don't have to pay whatever that is, $1,000 on tires. That can go towards something else that I'm asking for. So how does it get better than that? And Bruno, does that help you in seeing what else is possible there with money? You're muted.
Yes. Well, sorry, I had to catch on that you meant me because I'm using my friend's computer. My name is not Bruno.
What is it? What is your name so I can call you the proper name?
Jeanette.
Jeanette. Okay, Jeanette. Sorry, Jeanette.
Yes.
Like, so yeah, and so it's like,
I totally get it. I do. Okay, so I haven't had income since April, but I'm still alive, obviously, and I'm here at a computer being able to connect with you guys. And I'm staying for free in a caravan. So, you know, but still, I would like
Yes,
to
I get
create
that.
more, and
Hmm.
not just being gifted things. And
Yes. Cool. So with that, it's like what other and how much access have you played with out of curiosity?
I'm a bar facilitator. I did 2 foundations. I did classes with Glenise and with Crystal. Well, lots of stuff.
Okay,
Sorry.
cool. Just checking.
Yeah.
Just to give me some awareness because I don't know everybody on this call, which is brilliant. How does it get better than that? And so with that, it's like, okay, but the money isn't here yet, right? Yet. So keep it like, what do you need to choose? Like, and not need, what can you choose today that will keep you in the space of creation, of the space of choice, so that, and how fierce can you be with yourself to be like, okay, cool. Like I require money. What am I like not acknowledging about me? What am I acknowledging about what's showing up in my life?
Yeah.
That,
I would like
yeah,
to respond to the word fears that you mentioned, because the last 2 days I've just started to experiment with what comes easy to me.
Mhm.
What are the things that flow out of me like effortlessly, that I'm not acknowledging as a gift or a capacity or whatever, that I could generate money with or could make money with, or
Mhm.
and I have been fierce. I have been so fierce, and I mean, I don't think there's anyone fiercer than me. And I really like to be with with what comes easy to me, because I have not been acknowledging myself for the majority of my life for
Mhm.
what comes easily to me. So
Yeah, are you ready to now?
how can I be more of that? And then when it comes to money, how can I be with that, with money?
Yeah. So what if it was about to having the fun and finding the ease and acknowledging yourself? Like, for example, and I have no idea how this is going to show up, but the other night my parents brought a ton of furniture for me too. And it's like, I've been spoiled rotten this month. Whatever you do, don't ask for 70K a month. Um, and then I'll have the cash now too, please. But they brought the sewing machine because I love to sew and I haven't sewn in a while. So when they were still here, we got out the sewing machine and we crafted a little quilt for one of my son's toys. And I'm sewing and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot how much fun this is. Right. And if you can't see my hands, but I'm feeding the sewing machine with the fabric. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I just looked around and I'm like, oh my gosh, what would it take to get paid to do this? What would I get paid to sew? And I have no idea how that looks. And so it's like, I've like, a question like that is like, what is it going to take? And I have no idea. And what I do know is that some way, shape, or form, it'll show up. I have no clue. It might be 2 years down the road. It might be next week that I will be paid to do that. But I'm willing to be in the question. And then the key is, one of the keys, right? And the key is to get out of the expectation. Because at first I could hear my mind going to, well, I could design something and then someone would pick me up. And then, you can go down that road and you can also go, whoosh, what's it going to take? I'm going to like, thank you, universe. I'm having it. And whatever you do, don't ever ask what would it take to get paid for my very presence. Because that one right there, if you're willing to ask it, some really cool miracles can show up. And it won't
That
be
will
the
be
way.
too easy.
That would be. So here begs the question, when you're asking for money, are you willing for it to be easy?
I would so love to get used to easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And ease and easy. Like what if you could have
Yeah.
that all like a little burrito full?
Yes, I think the refinement with easy and ease, I think you get that when you do a lot more access classes or certain access classes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um, I wonder if you could give me a question that would apply to me,
Uh-huh.
because
Um,
I get that this not easy thing has to do with that I really had to struggle when I was recovering from cancer.
okay.
And my health insurance was not enough for a recovery program. So I explored alternative medicine by myself. So, I'm still here. I moved to Portugal, so I did amazing things, okay? But I feel like I'm still used to I just have this gigantic battle to win, or this stuff to do, or whatever. And I just
Mhm.
want to be done with that.
Okay. And so truth, do you?
Yeah.
Cool. So what you want to ask yourself, and it may be going for a walk and asking this question, depending on what you do, but like, what do you love about the push and the struggle?
Mhm.
And really sit with that. I remember, and here's another one, is I remember this question totally changed my financial reality. Is Gary, I got up to the mic at my first, it was the first choice of possibilities, I believe, that was with Gary, and I got up to the mic, and Cass, I think you were there too. And hold on a second. If you're moving around, we can hear you, and it hurts my ears. Um, so I asked him, like, hey, Gary, I'd like to have more money. And he's like, no, you don't. I was like, yes, I do, with a question mark attached to it. He's like, no, you don't. And I said, right, because if I wanted more money, I would have it. And I got that. It was like I got it. And so then he was like, what do you love about not having money? So this is another question you can play with. What do I love about not having money? And that night, I did not let myself go to bed until I had written every single reason why I loved not having money. And it was surprising. And it was also it was revealing. And it totally changed my financial reality.
How? I mean,
How?
and what was the time span?
It was pretty quick. Okay, so it was pretty quick, because what happens is when you are willing to look at what is,
Yeah.
and I don't want to go into what it was for me, because I don't want to put that, like, I would
Mhm.
really like you to see that for yourself. But there's started to, and I'm like, if I'm a visual person, so if you're listening to the audio, I'm pointing out on my piece of paper, but there was there was themes within what the reasons why I didn't want to have money. I was like, oh, and so I'd look at it and I go, okay, if I had money, could I still have that? Or am I willing to lose it?
Sorry, I keep muting myself because I'm not sure if I'm supposed to.
Oh, no, it's great. It's good, because no, thank you. I appreciate that. But so does that give you more? And it was actually relatively quick, and it's the willingness to look at it, and it's this space of vulnerability, and that's what actually brought this. I think I said this at the beginning, and I'll say it again. Is the choice to step into more vulnerability with me, because
Hmm.
at facilitators training, Dane was talking about there's vulnerability with public. You can be a level of vulnerability with public, but there's a level of vulnerability with you that he's like, most of you refuse to go to. And I'm like, I'm going there.
Hmm.
I'm going to this, like, there are, like, I can be like, hi, here I am. I'm an open book. This is what's going on in my life. And then there's stuff that I keep hidden from myself. And so this choice to be vulnerable and really look at, okay, well, what's really going on with my world financially? Yeah, go ahead.
So, what are the freaking ways that I can keep things hidden from myself?
How many
Really?
ways? How tricky are you?
Well, I am a genius, really.
Cool.
Really?
And how does it get better than that? If you're a genius at hiding it from yourself, well, how much more of a genius would you have to invite yourself to step up to be to actually see where you've hidden it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you get to the hidden stuff? The
Lower your
CQ
barriers.
implants?
You can do
And,
ShiQ. You can lower your barriers to
oh,
yourself.
oh wow.
Mm-hmm. And all
Still
the
too.
hidden and all the hidden barriers you have for yourself,
Oh,
all of
they're
that.
hidden barriers?
Maybe. Are there hidden? She laughs. No, you don't have any hidden barriers. Don't invite them to go down. Mm-hmm.
Oh, or some fake windows or fake doorways. Oh God.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Really. Thank you.
Yeah, have fun. And I'm seeing the chat. So I see Celine has a specific question, and Zanny said, what would it take for you to get paid for caravan sitting, home sitting? That sounds like fun. I'm like, what would it take, personally, what would it take for people to fly me out to take care of their homes in gorgeous places? How does it get better than that? And include my son in that too when it works. And Jamie says, I am acknowledging that I sometimes do get paid for my presence. What would it take to receive more? How cool is that? How cool is that? To get really, and to acknowledge that, even wow, to get paid for your presence. And then Sylvia said, I did that, writing down why I didn't love money. I get frustrated and stop writing. Do you have any questions or awareness? Well, how vulnerable, how present, how Sylvia, are you willing to be with I'm going to sit here, even if it means I sit here and I stare at a piece of paper until I start writing. Sometimes I have to do that with myself and just be, you just have to be there. And it could be like, hey, I'm not going to do it right now. And I'm going to be in a total allowance of myself. And what would it take for this to be crazy fun? And be like, I'm going to write the craziest answers. I don't love money because money looks like trees. Or I don't and just be absurd until you allow yourself to have that come out. And then Fiona says, sounds like there's amazing creation of magic in asking questions. Yes, asking questions all day long, and then asking more questions. And then the other piece is actually asking questions. There's asking questions, saying something with a question mark on the end, and then there's actually asking questions. What would it take to get paid for your very presence? What would it take to get paid to be you? It might not show up the way you think, and it might show up greater if you allow it to. Cool. Celine, is your question still there?
Yes. Hi, Maggie. Thank you. I'm so happy that I can see you this time.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for this conversation about money. There's this energy around in my life. I know a lot of people who have money. They don't have problem money. That means that they can pay their rent, they have a lot of nice things, beautiful things, and all that stuff. And I know, and I get they have a lot of problem. And 2 days ago, I went to this man, a rich man. It's my point of view. He's got 2 amazing flats in the center of Paris, and he's kind, he's interesting, and we were 4. We didn't know each other, and he was talking about all the things he had. It was great, but always complaining. A horse was too expensive, and that cost him too much, and that cost him, and the helicopter in the garden, but it was not about the joy of money. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for me, it's really great to have all that helicopter, 2 flats in Paris, bottle of champagne, horses, and the energy was always complaining. Mm-hmm. And in France, I realized, I don't know if it's like that in America, but I don't think so. In France, more you are rich, more you complain, and more you talk about what will it take to be cheapest. I pay too much, and there's no the joy of money, and it's really insane for me, and I'm really fed up about that. What will it take if and these people were nice, but I was inviting to the countryside, and I'm not interesting anymore because it's not joyful. So just your awareness about that, because what is that?
Well, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So, like, are you willing to have a totally different reality with money, wealth, and riches than the rest of the people in Paris?
Yes, and I realized that it's implant distractor for me.
Yeah.
It's distracting for what I like, because people who don't have a lot of money in Paris, or I know, never complain, never. Because you are ashamed when you don't have money, so you don't say anything, or even you invite your friend to the restaurant even if you don't have money. But in France, the rich people is the same. They always complain. It's not joyful. So yes, and at the same time, I meet all these people, and it's like I don't want to invite money because of that.
Cool. So, are you willing to outcreate that?
Yes.
Cool. So, and are you willing to do whatever it takes? Like, are you willing to judge to be? They maybe someone will think you're dirt poor even when you're wealthy because you're not complaining.
Can you repeat this one?
I'm like, are you willing to have someone judge you and think you're poor even when you're wealthy because you're not complaining? Because complaining, it sounds like, is a status quo.
Yes, and it's interesting what you are saying, because for few years people think that I was really rich because I am this energy, and in fact I don't have money. So it's kind of insane, because people think I'm rich, I'm living in a castle, and because I am this energy. And
so will you acknowledge that?
Yes, I've already acknowledged that.
So, and that's part of the reason why, like money come, money come, money come, and I'll have the cash now, please.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to have it all? Because there is, like, if you look at even my, like, if I'm super excited, like my parents brought me silver, and like I have silver trays that one's in the kitchen and one's by the door, and there's a big one on display that that has an energy of money. And no, I'm not a millionaire yet.
Exactly.
And that's the key thing, is like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm doing whatever it takes, and I'm not going down the road of being a stressed out money person. I'm educating myself on what is required. Because there are things with banks, which I don't know all the details yet, but it's like your money is only insured to a certain amount in the bank account, and I know I want more than that in my bank account, so I need to find the information. And right now in this moment, I'm like, you know what, I'm creating, I'm using, like, this is like the becoming money. I'm seeing it more and more, and the more I acknowledge, like, wow, I'm a single mom, I live in a house on my own, and I have a car, and I have my own business, I don't have an outside job, and I'm here and I'm creating. And and this matches with Jamie's asking about, the thing you like asking about, money has fallen away and the next thing for the money hasn't come with that. It's like, yeah, there are moments where I'm like, oh boy, like it's on me. There's no backup plan whatsoever. Like, there is no man that is like waiting to, like, that I can be like, yeah, this month I'm just gonna, like, go to the beach, go to the spa, and like I know that I am fully capable of creating this. I know this, and it's terrifying and exciting, right? And I'm willing to go beyond what every, like, because it's even in my town of Durango, there can be, and I've had conversations with other single mamas of like, there's this point of view that all of a sudden now I'm a single mom and I've got to struggle. No, fortunately, I have a neighbor who we just had the conversation of like, we're both single mamas. She's venturing off here. I'm venturing off here. We're doing what it takes to create what works for us. And then as those things, like things come up of like, oh, well, if I'm this, then I shouldn't do this, right? Like those things, or if I'm going to be like all the points of view about what it means to be wealthy or rich or have a lot of money, they come up and I get to look at them and say, hey, like here, they're more like, hi, right? They're right in my face. And I'm looking at them going, cool. Am I going to let that rule my life? Am I going to let this point of view or this like outside reality, outside of my reality, rule my life? And then I get to choose from there.
Yes, thank you so much, Maggie. And you know, I've been following you since maybe 2 years, and I've seen what you create. Yes, and it's amazing. Yes, yeah. So thank you for the inspiration. Yes, and for the contribution you are in my life since I've been since I've discovered Access and you. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, and I see it's Jeanette, not Bruno. Can you do some clearings on backup plans? We can talk more about backup plans. What I'm gonna invite you to is 30 days of becoming money, because it's going to be these conversations of like acknowledging and clearing all the crap that is getting in the way. Like, what have you decided about what having money is? I knew I grew up in more of a space of like having less was better. Not better, like it wasn't about having less, but like having points of view about like how hard you had to work and the dad not being around and all of that, right? And so I've had to look at all of that. And what we're going to do in the 30 days is every day we're going to hop on and we're going to look at it and we're going to clear. You're going to get a tool, you're going to get a question, and you're going to rock it. You're going to like, because if you put these tools to work, they work. I'm proof. If you put the tools to work, they work. I mean, and this is to show you, like, I am sitting in a home that only I pay for. And 2 years ago, that was not possible whatsoever. Not possible. Not even on my radar that was a choice for me. Okay. So this, I'm going for 30 days of becoming money, because becoming money is also acknowledging the bits of like, well, you said you live in a castle. Like, I want to hear more about that. And it's like, and then Jeanette lives in for free. Like, that's actually like acknowledging like, oh, cool. I've created these things in my world where, I arrive home from being in Costa Rica and there's new tires on my car. How does it get better than that? And my dryer blows out in my rental, and within a week, my landlord has replaced it with a new one. And it's acknowledging that I didn't have to wait. I didn't choose to create a slumlord. I created a landlord that is like, boom, he's on it. The lawnmower didn't work. Boom, it's ordered within the same day of the old one not working. And it's like, that's the conversations we're going to be having, is like, what is going on in your life that you could acknowledge, and now will you invite the cash in? Because I get it when there's the cash, the space between the cash flow, it can be intense, and there are so many different holes you can take yourself down. I've gone there, believe you me, I've gone down those holes, and I've made the demand of myself that this isn't happening. And it's the becoming money and stepping into the continual choice of inviting money into your life, whether it be fine dining with friends, even when you don't have enough food or money to pay for food. What if you started asking? And I had actually a client do this. It was really cool. She's like, I just started asking if people would start asking me out for lunch and for dinner. And all of a sudden she had to, on her schedule, she had to start booking out weeks in advance for people to take her out to lunch and dinner. So she had the food covered. And I've done that too. And I've been like, because I don't love to cook, so I've asked that question, and then a friend will ask me for dinner, and someone will take me out for dinner, and then, like, all these, and it's the acknowledgement of that creates the more, and then you're like, okay, and I'll have the cash now too, like I'll have the dollars, so that they're like, you don't have to have either or. Yeah, like, I'm on fire today. How does it get better than that? In the studio, but people think I'm rich, and that's the energy I am. Cool. So would you, like, can I ask you another question? I know
Yes.
you're on here. Okay. Like, what could you create if you claimed, owned, acknowledged, and embodied all that you be? Ooh. Hi.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So people already judge you as rich. So what are you waiting for? And thank you. Fiona says brilliant. Yeah, thank you. Hold on, 30 days. Do you do the workbook every day? So I have a question about the 30 days of becoming money. We won't be doing the workbook every day. It's going to be, what I love is bite-sized chunks. And so how do I explain this? So every day it's more of like, it's kind of, we'll do an energy pull too around the money and becoming money and inviting all that we're asking in. So every day we will be there together for about 20 minutes. So you get the chunk and you can keep coming back and listening to it. There'll be a graphic that I'll put together with the question tool of the day that you'll put to use. And I'll be pulling from this book. I mean, I love these books. I'll be pulling from Money Isn't the Problem You Are. Hey, did you know that? And even like, You Are a Badass with Money and Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. We'll be playing with all of it. Our focus being the becoming money and just getting out of our own way with money. Because what is possible if we get out of our own way with money, and it's really not about the money. Don't tell anyone I told you that. What would be possible? What would be possible if you were willing to step in every day for 30 days and look at, okay, here's what I'd like. Here's what I'd like to create. Here's what I want. Here's here, and really get to this space of vulnerability. I'm like, Cass, what are you laughing at? Get to this space of vulnerability, and really look at what is, because vulnerability is the honesty with self. And are you willing to be like, okay, cool, I've created this. I've had some really, I don't know what to name them, moments with myself of being like, where I am today is a result of my choices. So what am I going to choose now? And so this 30 days, and I'll open it, I see a question about it too. In this 30 days, what I'm doing is for the next 24 hours, it's $200 to join. And there is global pricing. And then after 24 hours, it's going to the $250. Just to, like, if you're ready to jump in at 200. And Cass and I were talking before, it doesn't start till the 12th of September, which is not quite 2 weeks out, but a week today, we're going to get on here again for those who have signed up already and just clear the shit out of money, for lack of a better word. We're just going to get on and like bring up all, like, whatever you want to come up, whatever's coming up with you with money. We're just going to podpoc our way through that and really go, whoo, and then dive into the becoming money. How's it get better than that? So if you're itching at, what time? It's going to be at, so I'm like, what time did we say, Cass? What time is it in France right now, Celine?
I think it's almost 9 o'clock.
I think we said 9:30 or 10.
So yeah, it's 9:30. It is 9:30 Pacific time, which will be 2.5 hours earlier than this conversation. And here, if you go, let me see, MaggieSchlarb.com. AM, Sylvia. Becoming money. I just privately sent Cass the link. Cass, can you share that with the group, please? I'm like, only cats can join. But there's a time and date link on that page if you go to that. And let's see. Yeah, and Jeanette, I can show that too. But yeah, it's just like what is possible with spending 30 days of stepping into becoming money and really showing up from yourself from the space of vulnerability. And we'll talk about vulnerability. You'll probably be uncomfortable in the 30 days, I'm not going to lie. But it's like, are you willing to step up and have your reality be that which is possible, but you've been keeping out in the distance from you because of your points of view? So I'm going to click everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. And before I forget, Jeanette, it's called You Are a Badass with Making Money is the other book. And we'll be playing with that. And it's what's really interesting is that all these books, they've been borrowing books from the library. I've been buying other money books, and all of them say the same similar thing. The ones that create the most in my world say similar things in a different way. So we're going to look at that too, which is like, because it doesn't have to always be the pod poc. It's looking at, okay, what works? What works in my world with money? What would I like to create? What is becoming money for me? So let me shut up for a sec. Do you guys have any questions about money or about the 30 days or whatnot?
Maggie, we might want to give out the website so people on the phone can also hear it.
You're awesome. So it's my name, MaggieSchlarb.com. So that's a mouthful. So it's MAGGIES as in Sam, CHLARB as in boy, and then / becoming money is where you can go if you're on your phone. Oh yay, World Time Buddy. How does it get better than that? I don't know, World Time Buddy. You learn something new every day. Cool. So what other questions do you have?
Hi, it's Erika B, and I'm from Germany.
Hi.
Hi. Very nice conversation. Thank you. I love the question about from Jeanette. How can I get used to ease? How can I have fun with ease? Because today to me occurred one thing. I talked to a mother, and she was in a completely different reality. I done something with some kids lesson voluntarily, and I enjoyed it. And she was like just not smiling ever the whole day, and everything was about. Everything was about working and doing stuff, getting things done, and blah blah blah. And I was. It left some imprint on me when I went home. I realized that, and my mind started to freak out on that. Because we have sons in a similar age, and her son is going to a very educated school, and my son is at a very easy school. It's easy for everybody in our family with that school. And now my mind started to go like, oh, I don't know, is that going to work out, and blah blah blah. And I'm really comfortable with the tools from Access, like just calming myself down and just realizing what is going on there, getting the ease back, because I demand it for myself. Yeah. And this conversations about money, I just realized that I enjoy it. Sometimes I'm really angry with myself about spending all this money on this, buying books or what, calls or something like that, and just going on. But I just realized this one question somebody gave me, like, what would it be like having every day some money to come in? And I just realized that it worked out. It really worked out. since the whole last month, something is coming in, and now I got the question, yeah, and what would it take to get more in than out,
Mhm.
spending money, cash, actually. Yeah, you reminded me. And the one thing I ponder on, that I came to this very nice business idea, like a franchise system,
Mhm.
that the theme, the topic is very light. It feels very light for me. It showed up clearly, and then I had this conversation, and I informed myself about the fees and what I did have to pay if I would choose that, and I'm not sure how to go on with that.
Okay, so do you have a question?
Yeah, how can I stay in that ease
That's
with
a brilliant
all these
question.
figures, not confusing myself,
Yeah, so really that's a brilliant question. More ease, please. Like, how can I
Yeah.
say, like, what's it going to take to allow this to be ease? And I will, like, just to speak of ease a little bit, because there's ease and easy, and it can be easy too. And ease is like and I'll reference my kiddo's broken arm. I mean, his bone was hanging out of his body. Sorry if I gross you out. And we had a flight for life and all that. There was ease in that. It wasn't necessarily easy to see my kid like that, but there was ease in my world. And in that ease, so many, like, there was a vehicle that was available for us to drive the 6.5 hours home after being flown and having surgery. The ambulance arrived really early, and having the ease in it and the invitation for ease, those little miracles of like, oh my goodness, and then this showed up, and then this showed up, will show up. Like, even I think I heard you say something about the numbers, being like caught up in the numbers. Another brilliant tool. Who does that belong to? How many people have looked at those numbers and freaked out?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and just keep, like, more ease, please. More ease, please. More ease, please. More ease, please. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so are you good there?
Yeah, it sounds
Awesome.
really nice. And I realized that I concluded that I need to have this money in cash, because there will be a bill about this amount of money, and then I have to pay.
Yeah. So what if it was just like, you know what? I'm having it. I have no clue how, but I'm having it. If it's super light. I mean, even if you look at how Gary and Dane create, they've bought a castle and a property in Costa Rica recently. They didn't have the cash stashed away for that. They created it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So how does it get better than that? And like, what are you willing to, like, really let go of and allow yourself to have what you're asking for with ease, with joy, with glory?
Yeah,
Okay.
right. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Gabriella has a question about the 30 Days of Becoming Money program will be with clearings. Yeah, we'll be podpocking. And I didn't explain that. So thank you for asking. There will be podpocking. If you enjoy a podpock or two, we'll be podpocking. And then Sylvia, okay. And then Mercy. Yeah, and so there will be a clearing call next week. It'll be, I'm going to do a Zoom because I really enjoy seeing you in this format. So there will be a clearing call next week for those who choose 30 days. And so you get to clear, like, we get to start before we start, because I knew this creation asked to start mid-September to give space and to really let people, like, soak in and choose. And it's like, you want to choose it now? Let's go. We're going. I'm going. It's not, it starts now, and it starts on the 12th, if that makes sense. And the queries in the money pool conversation. So in it too, you get the video. So the video will be in the daily Facebook Live in a private group. There will also be audio. So you can, if you're more of the audio person, you can download it to your phone, to your computer, to whatever you want to listen to, and walk and go with it. So you'll have access to it, both audio and video. And in the Facebook group, you know, conversations, questions in there, I'll definitely ask what you'd like to get out of it. We might even, if you're daring, if you join, we'll look at what you'd like your target to be for receiving money in those 30 days. And we'll contribute to each other in energetic ways to create that as well. Like, how much fun can we have being like, high five, and, you know, oh my goodness, so-and-so reached their targets 3 weeks into the 30 days. Like, what are they aiming for now? We're going to, like, it's going to be a party and a play, because what I know about money is that it comes to the party. And when you're having the poo-poo platter, things get shitty. So I'm just stepping it up and inviting you if you want to come play, and it will be play and it will be an adventure. That, I think I've said everything that's included. Cass, am I missing anything? I'm putting you on the spot.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Don't think. Yeah. Yeah. And Celine just posted this beautiful question, and it's like, what would it take to have never enough money and always too much to spend? And what I've been, and I'm like, Maggie has a lot to share today. How does it get better than that? And I see all your messages. We're getting there. So it's like, what if you actually just like really looked at the energy of that question? Okay, what would it take? Like, get the energy of what would it take to have never enough money and always too much to spend? And get the energy of that. Yeah. And just notice. And if your mind is like, but wait, that doesn't make sense, ignore the mind. Notice the energy. Thank you for that, Celine. And bodies and money. Yeah, we'll talk about bodies. Gloria. And Celine says, thank you so much, Maggie. So grateful for you and the contribution. Thank you. Oh yes, I would. You read my mind. So if this is like a yes for you and you're like, oh shit, I'm not sure if I have the $200, and it is global pricing, so Canadian USD, and then the 80%, you need to ping me if there's 80%, because it's not on that page. If you would like a payment plan, if you would like, or I don't want to call it a payment plan, but if you would like to pay in chunks, message me and we'll set that up. Because if you're willing to choose this and you're like, hey, I'd like this, this is what I want you to do, is I will personalize it for you, and that until it gets crazy. But if you're like, hey, this is what it looks like for me, this is what I commit to paying, and we'll put it on a PayPal link so that it automatically does it. Be like, I want the $200. I don't have the $200. If you don't have the $200 now, or if it would create more ease in your world, it's like, I need $200 payments, or I need this, this, and this. Message me. If you're willing to ask, I'll look at it and we can go from there. All right. And what else? Anything else?
Big gratitude for this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Because what can we actually change on the planet as we step into more?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what inspiration can we be to other people as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Well, look, I hear somebody's knocking. So thank you for being a part of this conversation. And we're doing Becoming Money for 30 days. I would love for you to join if it's light for you, and if you know that it's going to create more in your world. Let's do this. Let's create a different possibility with the world via our choice to have money in a way that allows us to be seen as the beautiful people, or not be seen if you don't want to be seen, but be seen as who you be in the world, to be the catalyst for change, in that the world requires it. And the world requires you. So if this will contribute to you being able to be you, have you, and know, like, have unsurmountable trust in you to step forward and like be the change you wish to see, let's go. Let's rock it. And we have people signing up already. How does it get better than that? So thank you. And this recording will go out. Like how many people can we invite into this conversation? And it's like, how many people can we invite into this type of conversation, whether it's you on the street, whether it's you on the bus, or in the 30 days. But what is possible if we all were willing to be like, whew, something different is possible here. We don't need to complain. We don't need to be less than. We don't need to have, there no longer needs to be a money problem. And are you willing to lead that?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. Well, thank you so much. I want to stay and play, and it's time to hop off because I have another call. So if you have questions, PM me, or hello@maggieschlarb.com, or PM me on Facebook. If you're really like, I want this, but here's what it looks like for me. Let's go there. I believe in you. So, and if you could too, that would be awesome. So I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you on the flip side of this one. Bye.
Bye, Maggie. See you on the
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.